Hello really rubbish racing fans, welcome back to Anderstorp for what is now the final round of the Formula R Festival. As you can see, still absolutely hammering down with rain. The cars are out on track doing a few reconnaissance laps just to see how it's changed from before. I'm joined again by Adam.
Hello.
And Campbell.
Hello.
And here we have the map of the circuit, the very fast back straight, light straight, and 4 banked corners for the cars to get their teeth into.
Yes, 4 banked corners.
Definitely 4. We've decided on 4 now.
Yes.
2.5 miles, so not a terribly long track. Used to be used for Formula 1 in the 80s. The
70s.
start finish straight was 70s, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was around when Peterson was in the 70s.
The pit lane has since moved. After the first race, we've got a title fight now between the two the two Javery drivers, Jay Coops and Flavery Rugg. They're on 47 and 45 points. Smithy, unfortunately, he's going to need a lot to win it from here now.
Indeed, it's Jay Coops winning that first race has put him in the driving seat for the final round, and it's his to lose, really. Well, yes. Although Flavery's definitely still in it, and as we know, anything can happen, and Smithy cannot be ruled out going into this final race, especially with his experience of being in this position before.
Yeah, Smithy's going to need a win, and he needs Flavery to finish 7th or lower. So here we have the starting grid, reversed grid for the first 8 places from the first race. So that puts Dan Thorne on pole position. Nice clear track for him. Lynn second, and Smithy, this works in his favour. He's third, having finished the previous race in 6th. Our title contenders in 8th and 6th.
And AGOK, unfortunately, just missing out in the cuss in the first race, so he starts where he finished in 9th, which is very unfortunate for him. Yes.
Cars getting ready to line up on the grid now. Marshall there seems to be waving the yellow flag.
He's preempting the inevitable first corner accident.
Very good of race management there to come up with that idea.
Yes, very innovative.
Although he's going to have a tired arm by the time the race finally starts. A very colourful grid we have, isn't it?
Yes, you've got yellows and reds and various shades of blue. It's very, very nice to look at. Well, no purple cars this season, unlike in previous really rubbish racing seasons.
Purple flashes on the wing mirrors and roll hoop of AJK's car. Who are we waiting for? A couple more cars, I think.
You can see them being vacuumed out of the pits.
Yeah, don't know why more race series haven't used this method of getting their cars to the grid.
It's very. I think the drivers like their reconnaissance laps a bit too much. And the engines are revving. And we'll be underway shortly.
Does this mean there's no overtaking into the first corner? Oh no, he's stopped waving his yellow flag.
And the race is underway, and Dan Thorne has got sideways, and there's a black
Who's
cat's
that? Is
car
that
in the
Smithy?
back. I think that might be Smithy.
Oh, surely that's put complete paid to his title chances now.
And Lynn and Dan Thorne very close down the back straight, and there's a Javery car, and Bucoy has been spun massively.
I think he got into the side of Jay Coops there, so not sure what's happened to Jay Coops' car.
That's the championship contender. And Lynn has spun, and Dan Thorne has also spun, and Pi James has ended up in the gravel, and it's chaos at turn 2.
What
Everyone
a mess. It seems like
rejoining.
no one remembered to brake there until it was too late.
It's just carnage. And there's Race Pro UK battling with PY James.
3 wide down this back straight.
Very brave.
The two Jovery cars very close together there.
Following by Junior's Kaibutsu. And
It's PY Jones making their move on the outside of Don Matteo there. Oh, but we're not going to see it. We'll see it in the background.
and by Junior fending off the two Javery cars.
I think the director's doing a very good job here, considering the amount going on this first lap.
Yes, he's focusing on the championship contenders, which is really what people's interest will be in.
Real Senna and Prost situation here. Although thankfully
Yes.
they've not taken each other out. A lot more respect between these two drivers than
Well,
those amateurs in McLarens.
You would hope so.
But currently the cork in their bottle is by Junior here in the Kaibatsu, number 25. Although I think he's about to be popped. We're very close down to this second turn.
Rog's having a run, but got quite close, but he's probably made it stick. By Junior is holding on, he's on the grass, and that'll give J Coops a run into turn 3.
Was that a nudge from Flavoury Rug there on by Junior?
It's hard to tell from this camera angle. And Kovamalia has lost his front wing and nose cone somewhere. I'm guessing he's had a collision with a barrier.
He's not had a good weekend, has he? Or did they even bother to put the wing back on for this race?
Well, you have to ask whether it would be worth their while.
An expensive waste of time and effort, one might say.
One might say, and Lynn's had another spin, but he's saved by the curb, and the curbs are quite high here, and they can, if you hit them at the right angle, they can put you back on course, but that's put him into the clutches of Bukai, who's recovering from that first lap spin. And Bukai makes it stick, getting the run from off the third banked corner.
Lynn won't have done his undertrain any favours there, though, scraping across the curbing. I think I saw a few sparks.
No, indeed not. But in these conditions, small aerodynamic damage isn't as damaging as it would be in other tracks like Zandvoort, where aerodynamics are extremely important.
We have Ollie K here chasing down Larry onto the main straight. Ollie K, I think, just going for the best results he can possibly get now. He's not in the title hunt, but he's incredibly quick.
Next season could be very spicy with him if he starts all of the races.
He's actually, every race he's raced in this season, he's set the fastest lap and grabbed the pole position, so he's clearly the fastest over a single lap. Lovely camera shot there of the first sort of 10 or so drivers, I think.
Yes, very cinematic.
Did you get a chance to speak to Flavoury before the race, Adam?
I did, and the northern driver from Yorkshire was looking forward to the final race. He's got nothing to lose, really. He's only a few points behind, but he said he's going to give it his all and hope for his best. He is obviously a champion before winning an F1 season, winning a Forza season, so he's well versed in running at the top, so he was feeling pretty confident.
Got good experience in single seaters as well with that.
Yeah, I mean,
win.
the interesting thing about.
And sorry to interrupt you, Adam, but PY James has had a major accident. He's ended up on the other side of the barrier, which separates that part of the track.
That is special, isn't it? That is special.
So special.
He is so far off the track there.
The aerial shot reveals just how far off the track he is. Well, he's not actually that far off the track, but how far he's come.
But he seems to be in a ditch and on the wrong side of the tyre barrier.
Yes, it's quite an achievement to get that far, but it won't help his result much.
No, only he could get that car in that position, I feel. Lovely shot here
Yes.
from the helicopter. Surprising it can see anything.
Well, without
Ooh.
Tommy B here to break the game, it's left down to PY James to find these problems on the track.
And here we have AJOK. He's running in pursuit of the two Javery cars. Not too far behind though. Much better than his previous race. So we return to PY James in his sticky situation. And his teammate's not having too much luck either.
Oh, and Blair's hit the wall, and that may cost him his front wing.
Gonna have to rename this tyre barrier Blair 1 Wall, I think.
Yes, I think that has to be official. And the camera jerking around a fair amount. And
who's
there's
that?
Black cat. That's Smithy off, and PY James has expired in the background.
Smithy having similar problems that his teammate had in the previous race.
Yes, if you get beached in these bankings, it can be very awkward to get yourself out.
PY James's engine has gone. We've got black smoke there. It had to happen at some point.
Yes,
What a mess.
remember, there's no fans in these cars, so it's only reliant on air going in, and stationary with the engine revving, that wouldn't do the engine any favours indeed at all.
And I think that's Smithy completely out the running, possibly out the race there. Banked on the curbing. Beached on the
Yes.
curbing, rather. PY James definitely out.
Very definitely, yes. And Blairy is going down. Will he do what Smithy did? No, he's going to pit to change his front wing. And this will put him well
Still
down
only-
the field.
Only 8 minutes into the race, so probably a wise move to get your nose
Yes.
fixed.
Yes, he's liable to lose more than the 40 seconds it'll take to pit.
Of course, not saying he needs his actual nose fixed. Larry, not
No.
needing rhinoplasty, has a lovely nose, but his
I'm-
car does need a new one.
His car, yes. And this is Bukoy chasing by Junior for what is likely to be 5th place with Bukoy's record.
Look at that rain,
Just hammering down.
relentless.
But no safety cars or red flags. These Formula BMWs are well versed to deal with the conditions.
Yeah, these drivers they know what they're doing. No bubble wrap needed here.
No.
They'll just go out and they'll do their job.
Yes, they exist in tea and bacon rolls.
All the cars here using Michelin rubber. It's a spec tyre. It's the first time we've had to use the wet weather Michelin. I believe you caught up with the Michelin man, didn't you, Adam, before the race?
I did. I mean, he's quite difficult to understand because, first of all, he speaks very little English. He actually only speaks exclusively French, but not only not normal French, but quite an obscure. Very well. I don't speak it very much in France, but tyre French.
Tyre French. I imagine
Yeah.
he sounds like he's got a mouthful of marshmallows.
No,
No?
more full of tyres really.
Quite rubbery.
Yeah. I mean, he stunk of rubber, but I mean,
Did he say his tyres were rubbery?
I couldn't understand him, to be fair. But what he did say, we had a translator there who said that the wet tyre is it's not too dissimilar to the dry tyre actually in these conditions, because the amount of spray and water you need to clear is just ridiculous. As you were saying earlier, 100% humidity. It's almost impossible to drive.
So the slick tyre is not too dissimilar from the wet?
No, that's what he was saying.
Must have a
That's,
fairly shallow groove.
Yeah. Might have been lost in translation, but that's what I got from it.
Something that isn't lost in translation is the rivalry here between the two teammates gunning for the title. Jay Coops now right on Flavory's tail, and this will... Oh, side by side through the final bank curve at the carousel.
Well, it's brave. Carousel's fairly straightforward with only one car, but if you're running side by side with another car, it can get quite hairy.
In the wet, in this weather, and Jay Coops has made it stick. That was a phenomenal overtake. Wonderful driving from the pair.
Yes, that could so easily have ended in a very large accident, and the fact they managed to avoid a large accident is testament to them and their abilities.
But is this the final nail in Flavory's championship coffin?
Well, I fear it would depend on Jay Coops making a mistake at this point, and he hasn't made many mistakes this season. So
No, he's made a couple, but none that have been too devastating.
no.
Coming up to the halfway point in the race now.
Yes, there's been some incident. Oh, and AJOK has had a spin. That's at turn 3, I believe.
Half spin there. Doesn't seem to have lost too much time. He's got quite a barrier between him and I think Bukoy is behind him in 5th.
Yes, the field's starting to spread out, as you can see, with the first of the back markers being lapped.
That's Don Matteo in his PSP machine. Still the only PSP motorsports car. His teammate Nock has not raced since the opening round at Brands Hatch.
No.
Not sure why.
No, it's...
Maybe they
it's
ran out of green paint.
Quite possibly. It is a mystery as to why we haven't seen Nock since the opening round, like you say.
It's a shame. The affable Irishman been in positions before to win races in other series, and he's just not had the luck. But he can be very fast.
He can be very fast indeed. He's well on course to win the amateur cup in the Gears Championship, which is a significant achievement, and has come close to winning these races overall. But like you say, he's just not had the luck to do so.
Have you had a chance to speak to him, Adam? Any insight as to why he's not here? Is he focusing on the gears?
I think that's his main problem. He hasn't got a gearbox, so there's a lack of focus on gears really. Ever since the first round, the team just have not been able to replace the gearbox, as they are quite expensive on these cars. We've spoken in the past about the ridiculous cost to run a car in this championship.
Yeah, it can run into several pounds.
Yeah, so replacing a gearbox is just an added cost that the PSP team just can't afford, unfortunately.
That's a shame. Well, we hope to see him back at the next season, whatever that season may be. What do we have going on here, Len?
This is By Junior attacking Bukoy for 5th place. Those two
have been very similar in pace this season.
They have been, yes. There's not much separating them on the track. Oh, and it's
literally
By Junior
nothing
has-
separating them as they collide.
No, and well, By Junior should and indeed is waiting for Bukoy to rejoin, as is good etiquette.
Top gentleman. You can see his top
Indeed.
hat there.
And he's had a half spin, and that I believe has allowed Dan Thorne through.
He felt so guilty about taking Bukoy off then, he's even let Dan Thorne through.
Yes.
What a kind soul he is from the Welshman who is not Welsh.
Yes, but I don't think that'll please his team boss, who is also running in this race, just in the fringes of the points, and looking to keep Bukoy's team Jamtech behind in the team's championship.
The two Kobatsu cars now actually running line astern. I think it's 7th and 8th.
Quite very possibly, yes.
Is this now down thrown up into 6th? So this is his would be his best result so far if he stayed here. He's been getting better and better throughout the season, having had a disastrous opening round at Brands Hatch.
Yes. Well, I believe finishing in 6th place would allow Dan Thorne to overtake Cyber Samurai in the championship, and Dan has previously expressed how much that would mean to him if he was able to do that.
Yes, it is one desire. His one true desire in life is to do that.
Yes.
Of course, is it that much of an achievement having raced in every race? Whereas, again, Cyber Samurai has not raced since Brands Hatch.
Well, I guess we can leave that for the viewers to decide whether
Single
that's
5th place.
Achievement.
Lovely camera work there. Beautiful.
Beautiful. And this is Lynn, who's been overtaken by Blairy, who's recovered from losing his front wing early on. Those two using a somewhat different means of controlling the car from inside the cockpit. It's rather non-standard, and it's believed it cost them some time, but they're quite happy using it for the time being. Although Blairy has expressed...
This is the controller, isn't it?
Yes, the controller. And well, Blairy is believed to be upgrading to what's known as a wheel for the next season, but Lynn and Don Matteo, who's the other controller user, have expressed little desire to make that upgrade. They're quite happy with their existing input systems.
So that adds more expense to the taking part in the season, of course. Adam, you've been looking into the differences between the two controller inputs.
Yeah, I have, Alex, and I was speaking to Blair earlier in the week, and he actually told me that he actually got his new input system for completely free. So
really,
yeah, which is it's quite a surprise in this day and age.
The person who gifted it to him for free must have been incredibly generous.
Yeah, either completely generous or just an absolute mug.
Yeah,
difficult to say, really. So yeah, it's for Lynn and Don Matteo. They've really looked out. Well, not looked out. The opposite of that.
Unlocked out.
With their, yes, having to stick with their input method as a controller.
So what are the differences? What does using the two different kinds of controller do to your handling of the car?
Well, the main difference is the parts of your body that you actually use. With the controller, it's very rare to see a driver use their feet, which is, I mean, it's quite odd hearing, you can control a car without your feet. I mean, that's,
That sounds
crazy.
alien to me, Adam.
Yeah, they're very alien. So, I mean, it's quite a different way to drive. Whether it's a good way to drive, it remains to be seen. But we've seen some good performances from those drivers that use the controller system.
Alex Zanardi would be fairly good in this championship then.
Yeah,
if he had access to a controller.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he wouldn't need to spend money on a wheel because, I mean, that would be,
or feet.
pointless.
Yeah.
So yeah, a controller would work just fine.
Oh, and sorry to interrupt, that's by Junior, who's had a spin and lost his front wing somewhere. But not in that spin, so he must have had, this must be the second one. His teammates overtaken him again. That's the second time he's been overtaken by his teammate after having an accident, which will hurt. And Blairy will get him as well.
He's very close there, bit of a... Yeah... By Junior moving across there, not sure if he was unsighted, didn't see Blairy behind him, but nearly pushing Blairy off. Is By Junior using a wheel or a controller?
I believe By Junior's using a wheel. The Kaibutsu team are investigating the differences between the two of them, and they've split the cars to see which one yields better results.
I see. They seem to have split Blythe Junior's car at the front wing, the rods that hold it to the
that was
nose.
a somewhat unintended split. Oh, and Blairy's
had a massive crash there.
Big accident. That will almost certainly have cost Blairy his front wing, and that'll be his second front wing loss of the race.
Bit of autocross there to get back onto the track, and his front wing has
Yes.
finally been removed from him.
I think Blairy is demonstrating that the controller just doesn't give you the same ability to save the car if the back end goes. Although that is just a hunch. But we've seen this a few times that the drivers using the controller are less able to save the back end. And especially in these conditions, that can be a significant handicap.
Danthon here, definitely using a wheel
Definitely.
and making a very good job of it so far. He's still in 6th. Nice solid performance from him. Oh, that's Blairy again.
Yes, PY James having had an interesting end to his race.
Yes, a fiery end. Blairy pulling across the track there, hopefully not taking out our front running. Oh, who's that?
Oh, and that's Race Pro UK, I believe, in the black monolith car.
The drivers seem to be getting tired with just sticking to the circuit at the moment. It's been a long weekend.
Yes,
Maybe they've just had enough.
It's just going round in circles, really. They find it gets boring quite quickly.
Well, you would. I mean, all of this petrol not actually getting anywhere,
Oh yeah.
just to end up back where you started. Pointless, really. Why are we even here?
Round,
I know.
round, and round. And that's just a spin.
Well, you'd think that some people would view this as a waste of time, but I've never heard any evidence of that.
No, people who think that are just,
Yeah.
well, they don't
They just
deserve to
don't-
think.
They just don't understand. They don't understand our pain. As Ollie K goes round, he's coming up behind on the Kaibutsus to lap them. Oh, and the Kaibutsu spins off. I believe that's Lynn. Ends
Oh,
up in
what
the
a
wall.
wonderful camera transition there. That was seamless.
It was. You'd hardly know there was a transition at all if you hadn't pointed it out.
No. In fact, I don't think there was one.
It's extremely
That
impressive.
transitions Lynn there from being not lapped to being lapped.
Yes, although I believe he's kept his front wing, which most other people who've spun here haven't managed to do. But he was chasing, I believe, Dan Forn when that happened, and so that incident will have taken the pressure off Dan Forn, who can now take it a little bit easier in his quest for 6th place.
Adam, you've been speaking to Mygale, who the constructors of this Formula R festival car. How many front wings have they been through in the previous 2 events at Po and Anderstorp?
I think he said 232 front wings we've lost.
Really?
Which, I mean, they've considered pulling out after this race, and they won't supply really rubbish racing with any more Mygale FB02s.
Simply because it's too much money to keep piling on these front wings.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Do you think that just might be a cynical move on their part, in that the front wings could be recycled if Mygale let them be recycled, but Mygale insists that for safety reasons they have to be bought anew?
It goes 2 ways really, because Mygale have to, they supply them at a contract cost, but then it's almost in their, for their benefit if they do lose a front wing, because they have to.
I'm
pay
sorry,
for a new
guys.
one.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to cut in here on this completely banal conversation because we have Ollie K here, who is about to cross the line to win the race. Brilliant victory there for him. That's his 2nd win of the season and his 4th podium.
Notice he slowed down as he went across the line, but was not overtaken on the line like Bjorn Vertheim was in Formula 3000. There's Flavour 8 coming home to finish third and lapping by
The
Junior in
third.
the process.
We failed to mention, of course, Jay Coops there finishing second definitely does take the title. That is his first Really
Absolutely.
Rubbish Racing title. Absolutely
Yeah.
monumentous occasion.
Yes,
He'll be taking that trophy back to Peterborough and putting it on one of his many shelves that I believe he has in his house.
I believe he'll be putting it on one of his many mantelpieces.
Is his house that big? He has multiple mantelpieces.
I think so. Well, he'll be able to afford a house that big now after this achievement.
I guess. I mean, the prize money is in the region of pennies. So
Yes, it's an unimaginable amount for most people.
AJK bringing his car home in fourth place, some 40 seconds behind the leaders. Still though, very good for him to recover after a second race.
And Bukoy comes home for his 5th consecutive 5th place, which is
Given his celebrating with a little wiggle there as he crosses the line.
as he has every right to.
And he was the last car on the lead laps. Only 5 cars completing the full amount of laps, which I believe was 14 for that race. And there we see the confirmation. Ollie K
And
with the win.
Lynn finishing 7th moves him up to 9th in the championship, overtaking PY James, who had his unfortunate DNF.
4 DNFs for this race. I think that's the most of any race we've had since the first race at Brands Hatch.
Very possibly, yes.
And here we have our champion rounding the carousel, Jay Coops.
Must make sure he doesn't speed in the pit lane, or he'll lose his prize money.
Oh, I don't think they'll worry about that now.
Oh, cones everywhere.
Those innocent cones.
Confirmation there. Flavy Rugg finishing, 6 points behind, and Smithy equal on points with Ollie K, ahead through virtue of results count back. Blairy and Bukoy there 5th and 6th, 2 points between them. Mixed seasons. And I think now if we see the teams championship, Javery on 104 absolutely dominated the season.
Certainly did.
That's their first teams championship for them. Black Cats second on 61, almost half the points.
Team OK managing 3rd place despite only having 1 driver, which is very impressive.
That's amazing. What will he do if he's in a team? Anyway, everyone, thank you for watching the Really Rubbish Racing Formula R Festival. It's been a lot of fun. So it's goodbye from Anderstorp, from me, Alex, and from Campbell and Adam.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for watching. We hope you'll join us for even more of these incredibly stupid commentary videos.
Yes.
Bye!
Bye.